What up, besties? Welcome to The Real Her, the unfiltered podcast for ambitious, funny women who want it all. Real relationships, real success, and a real life they actually love. I'm your host, Christina Fusco, real estate investor, entrepreneur, and your new hype woman in life, love, and business. Each week, we're flipping the script on traditional business podcasts and focusing on the women behind the business. We're here to laugh, we're here to cry, and most importantly, we're here to dominate together. So go ahead, pour that favorite beverage, let your hair down, and let's get ready to unlock the real her. What up, besties? It's your girl, Christina Fusco of the Real Her podcast, and I just wanted to come on to say real quick, this week is going to be a little bit different, okay? We're sitting down with my good friend, Shelby Sinclair, and she's talking about her incredible founder's story. Now, Shelby's story needs a little space, needs some time. So that is why this week we're doing a special episode that is a 2-part series. Okay, we didn't want to miss a single moment of this badass's incredible story. So this week, you're holding on to part 1. It's coming your way in just a few seconds. But stay tuned because I've got more for you coming next week with part 2 of Shelby's episode. I literally feel like I'm sitting with a celebrity, so I'm like,
right.
Oh my, no, but seriously, you know this. I tell you this all the time.
Yeah, you tell me this. That has not locked into my brain of even, no, I could not.
You're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
But I mean it. Like I was deciding that I wanted to start entrepreneurship, but like coming to your event, hearing from you, your story, like all of that just inspired me. Again, the space that you created for women, immediately I was like, I don't know what this energy is, but I want to be all up in it. So I really do feel like I have a celebrity sitting down with me today. I really appreciate you being here. And Shelby Sinclair, let me give you the official warm welcome to the Real Her podcast.
I'm so excited to be
can't
here.
believe you're sitting down.
This is crazy. Literal chills.
This is crazy because you've actually seen me through so many different stages too of just like stepping into entrepreneurship. So I feel like, yeah, like now I'm like, hey, you're here on my podcast. Like to say I even have a podcast is like so weird.
It is, but I feel like almost one of the first conversations that we had, you mentioned something about like down the line, I could see myself doing this.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like I've always loved speaking. I've always loved talking. I've always felt like maybe being a speaker on a stage someday could be a goal of mine. And so I never knew like exactly, what that meant, but I always just felt called to do more. So we're trying it.
You're here.
We're doing it.
You're doing the damn
studio.
But let's not downplay what you've created here because this is amazing.
Thank you.
Like literally.
Literally just a girl.
Me and Sky say that all the time. Like, I'm just a girl.
I love when girls say, I'm literally just a girl. And then usually it's the girls that are like starting multiple businesses, like supporting themselves, right? Running households. It's like, I'm literally just a girl. It's like, what a beautiful compliment to literally just be a girl.
And doing the damn thing.
Yeah. Well, I know we could like literally sit here and talk for hours about everything. I think I was saying to you earlier, I'm like, I'm going to need you to come on like 100 times to this podcast.
You just ring the phone,
I know,
girl,
right?
and I'm here.
Okay, good. Because I know after today, everyone's going to fall in love with you and just your work and what you're doing and who you are, that we're going to continually need your business wisdom because I continually need your business wisdom. And again, you've been somebody that has shaped me so far and is continuing to shape me and be such a valuable person. And so really, I just want to talk about like, who is Shelby? What has Shelby done? And how has she gotten to where she is today? So before we go backwards, I want to just talk about current state. Tell us who Shelby is today and why you are so amazing and what you have built.
I am a 6-figure business coach and an energetic strategist. So I really bridge the energy with the strategy of building a 6-figure, a multi-6-figure. I have 7-figure clients, and it's coming in and really helping support the whole woman, a holistic way of building and growing a business because we all have so much life stuff going on. And that was the biggest thing that I realized when I first started coaching women was that life would happen and they'd be like, hey, peace out on this thing. I'll be back when I have more time to do it. And I was like, hold on. we can't be giving up on our dreams because life is happening. So how can I help women to create a nervous system that can hold both, that can show up and say, okay, here's what's going on in my life. Here's how we fix it. Here's how we make it better, and still continue to hit the goals, scale their business, become a personal brand that is seen, known, and absolutely loved and desired. And so I just get to show up and support women and bring them through my world and help them become the person that they've always known they could be, but they've been afraid to step into her because the outside world has been too loud.
I love that so much because it's so true. I think women especially, like, we have to wear so many hats in life as it is, and we, naturally become wives or mothers or don't or whatever it might be, but like we instantly put ourselves on the back burner when that happens. We're always the first things to go. And so I think it's incredible because I remember when I first met you, again, it was such a different energy. I think, unfortunately, when we think of business coaches, when we see all these people on the internet, it's like the loud, annoying guys, frankly. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't hear any women that are ever shouting on the internet. I mean, you hear some women, right? You hear the Kim Kardashians, like, get up, go to work, whatever. And I totally believe that there has to be a hustle element to build something if you really want to build it. But immediately the second I met you, it was this like no hustle culture, this no BS of like, you need to wake up at 3 a.m. and have a 20-step skincare routine and do 10 like you just immediately radiated this calm energy that felt accessible. And I loved that from day one, because even with this podcast, just letting people know what's accessible to them is so important. So let's dive into a little bit of that. So your soul client is helping women primarily?
Not necessarily, but she has a business where she's building a personal brand. She might be a coach, a healer, or in a creative space where she's just looking to create something that lights her soul on fire. And more often than not, she's just entangled in the fears, in the limiting beliefs of that mean girl in elementary school that told her that her outfit was ugly on the day that she felt that she was like looking her absolute best. And so it's just, it doesn't matter necessarily what the business is, it matters who the woman is. What is it that she's here to build, and how does she want to build it? Because like you said, yes, there might be an aspect of that hustle. I got to work hard to make something happen. But the woman that comes to me, she's done that. She's hustled herself to the point where she's questioning if what she's doing is even possible. If the dream to make the money that she desires is even possible. If having the freedom and the time is even possible, because she's inundated all day long on social media with the belief that she has to work so many hours in a single day and make so much happen, without realizing that she might be a mom, or she might be helping caretake family members, or she might just actually enjoy living her life. And so it's just that woman who's like, hey, I've done it and I've tried it this one way and it's not working.
Yeah.
And I give a completely different perspective of how you can drop into yourself and still build a very successful business, but do it in such a simple way where the mind isn't taking over and you're fully in your heart.
Yeah. And I think that's such a good point too, because again, I think immediately our focus is, okay, the business, the outside, the things happening, the numbers coming in, the revenue, not revenue. But it's like, business is so much more of a mental thing than it is physically the business, right? And I know I talked about that on a different episode recently, but like, it's about building the person who can run a business. It's not about building the business itself. And so I love how mindset and inward you are in your approach.
Yeah, the energetics is, I would say, 90% of the work.
Which is crazy. Because nobody prioritizes the energetics and again the mental, but it's like,
but it's what matters.
Yeah.
People are going to feel our energy before a single word comes out of our mouth. So you feel that when you walk into a room, you're just like, ooh, what is going on? There's too many of one type of energy in there that's making the room feel stiff. Yeah. But when you enter into a space with somebody that has completely honed in their energy, they know who they are, they stand in that belief, and they're not here to try and push you into their way of believing or being, but instead inviting you to come into their space and learn from them. It's so, so different. And if we can understand that as entrepreneurs, that if we get our head, our heart, and our body on the same page, then the business will succeed. Because at that point, it's just a matter of waking up and asking yourself, do I love what I'm doing? Do I love running this business? Do I love doing it in the way that I do? And if there's any single moment where you feel a single ounce of no, I hate this, I don't want to do this, I despise it. Well, hey, that thing's either got to be outsourced or it's got to go completely, because it is going to end up being the kink in the block that doesn't allow you to continue moving forward in your business.
Absolutely. And we were talking about this a little bit right before the episode here of just like, you're constantly going to hit these roadblocks and shifts. And a lot of the times it's because it's not that you can't do the thing you're doing or running the business you're running. It's because you're maybe not doing it for yourself or that fulfillment. You start to realize as an entrepreneur, you're here to solve other people's problems. Mm-hmm. But when you let that be the focus and not aligning it to, again, like, what do I want? How do I want to show up and serve? It causes immediate disconnect. Mm-hmm. See, you are like a wise, powerful owl to me. Like, and we're going to talk about all that today, but it's like, how did Shelby, I still seriously sit here in awe of you, because I'm just like, I know I've started doing work on myself and I think I'm a completely different person than a few years ago, but you were literally this just like healed, wise owl goddess in my eyes. And it's like, maybe you woke up like this. Maybe you were born like this. How the hell did we get there?
Girl.
So like, I'm going to cut the current state out right now, because
we got to go back.
We got to go back to be able to go forward. So literally, like, I'm like, can we start at like your day one? I don't know. Wherever you want to start. Tell us the story of your birth. No, you don't have to go that deep. It was a dark Tuesday.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, the light was there.
Yeah, the light was there and I knew I had to step into it. But no, seriously, like, I want to go back today because, again, I'm in awe of you because I know everything that you've gone through to be the woman that you are today and to be able to give to people the way you do. So let's just literally go in and back.
Let's do it.
Take us wherever you want, girl. I'm here for the ride.
Because the woman I am today was definitely not what I was born into. Like, not even by an ounce of the thread was this who I was born into. I grew up in a cult religion, and my parents were very, very ingrained in that religion. That was their entire life. It was actually like their entire personality. And so because it was their entire personality, that was then dumped on us kids, right? We had to then embody that type of being and how you walked through life and the beliefs that you had. But at a very young age, I started questioning things because I started seeing things for what they really were. I didn't have the wool over my eyes, as they would say, of just kind of like, oh, walking and moving through life, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm a little robot. No, I saw things for what they really were. Being able to be in school and witness how kids were, but then coming home and going to the Kingdom Hall and then being told, oh, everybody outside of this religion they're bad. This is the only truth. There's no good people outside of this. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, there's a lot of good people out there. Like, my teachers are pretty great. I've met some of my friends' parents. Like, what do you mean nobody's good? And that really confused me and was so conflicting, because how are we being taught one thing in one space, but then you go and you experience the world and you're noticing something dynamically different? And then just having to be that kid in school where her mom on the first day of school goes up to her new teacher and is handing her all these pamphlets about what a witness is. And, okay, we don't have conversations about this, this, and this. And if there's a birthday in the class, I'll pick her up from school. And if you're going to, like, there was just so many things that then just put me in this little box of not being able to be fully expressed or be myself, because I had to conform to what I was being raised in and told that it was the only way. And again, as a kid, that's really confusing, because you're like, hold on, why am I the one kid that doesn't get to sing happy birthday and have a cupcake?
Yeah.
But the craziest part about that is that growing up, my parents would sometimes ask, like, does it affect you? Like, do you feel bad that you're not the only kid? And I felt like I couldn't speak the truth. I felt like I couldn't actually say that it did have an effect on me, and that I did feel really embarrassed that I had to get pulled out of class for a birthday party. Because, hello, on the opposite side of that, you have to go and you have to be the perfect person at church.
Yeah.
So no, I can't tell you. And also my home was a very non-emotional home. We weren't actually allowed to share our true feelings, because if you did, you would then get the truth shoved down your throat.
Of course.
And so it was just an experience growing up where I learned how to, I would say in essence, manipulate my personality for what was needed to keep me safe. Which, looking back, that's horrible.
Yeah, of course.
Horrible.
You're in absolute survival mode. Like being a chameleon, right, isn't always a good thing in that type of situation.
No, not at all.
So that's so interesting, because you were in this, cult religion, but you were still experiencing the outside world. I feel like a lot of times people think cult religion, like they live on their like farm, or, like their compound, and they have
Like,
no contact to the outside world, because that's, how they're meant. So yeah, immediately you were getting conflicting messages from, this is what I'm told to believe versus this is what I'm seeing. What were some of, like, if you're comfortable sharing, what were some of like the beliefs that, you were being told, but then immediately you were like seeing opposite, or, anything of that sort, where you immediately were like, I'm conflicted. I question that.
It was very much that difference of being told, this is the truth. We are the best people. This is where everyone is safe and nobody does no wrong, and we care and we love each other. And then experiencing people outside of that and seeing like, okay, everybody outside is still like kind, nice, normal, like what's going on. But then there was an experience of my brother having been sexually abused in the religion by somebody who was a close family friend, which ultimately led him into drug addiction at a very young age. And that was probably the biggest moment that really opened my eyes, because as a child, I was 8 or 9 around when it all started, and being that young and witnessing how the congregation, my dad was what you call an elder. So he was somebody very high in the religion, where he would speak on stage and people looked to him for guidance and all of that. And so now to see there's this big situation happening in the family. There's so many conversations happening behind closed doors. I'm seeing my brother turn into somebody that I don't even know, that I don't even recognize. I'm confused. But of course, again, we don't talk about emotions. We don't talk about the reality or the truth of what's going on.
Yeah.
But you see the shift in how people are treating you and your family now in that space that's supposed to be safe and loving and there for you.
And they're shunning you.
Completely shunning you. My dad lost his position in the congregation because, how could you be at this stature but have a child that goes and does this? There was very much secrecy of what happened. No, don't go to the police. No, don't do any of this. We'll fix it all here. Internally.
Yeah.
Which then, what did that ultimately do to my brother? It set him deeper down, because when he really needed everybody, they weren't there for him. They even told my parents to basically kick him to the streets if that's his choice. A young kid. And so that to me was mind-blowing.
Yeah.
That you could do this to, and granted, my parents never did the whole kicking him to the curb. Like, they were like, no, we are going to try and support him. We're going to try and help him in the best way that we can, while also still trying to like support what the congregation is telling them to do, which I know for a fact they don't speak on it, but I know that had an effect on them as well. But just seeing the shift, and when I would go, then seeing how people would react or talk to me differently. And there was just so much talking just behind your back when you're right there.
And you're a kid.
And
it's like grown ass adults.
Yes.
Looking down at you, literally looking down at you.
And it just compiled and became more and more. And it didn't feel like a safe space. It didn't feel like I could actually go there and be welcomed. It felt like it was just one wrong move and I was kicked out of the door too. And so again, started to manipulate my personality even more, almost like having to live this double life of who I knew I wanted to be and how I wanted to be and the things I wanted to say, but having to keep it all in to put on this perfect picture family that's having complete mental breakdowns and fights and didn't know if her parents were actually going to stay together, and mom going to my grandma's house for weeks at a time because she just needed to escape what was happening in the home, and then having to show up to these meetings at the congregation and just be like, oh, we're a perfect little family.
Right.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was really interesting when you said that I think your mom or your parents, whoever, would ask you things like, does this affect you? Was it primarily your mom, your dad, both who would talk about it?
It was my mom who would kind of drop it in there, but there was so many situations where if you actually shared your true feelings, then it would be retaliated.
Right. I was going to say it'd be used against you. I wonder, or maybe you've already confirmed this or not, but like, I wonder if that was almost her extending the olive branch for what maybe she was feeling.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Because you just said like, she's left, she's gone to grandma's house. She needs the break. Like, did she grow up in that religion? That you're, okay.
Yeah. So she grew up in a very traumatic, toxic household as well, with a very alcoholic, abusive dad. Her story is very hard to listen to. And so the religion actually became her savior. Totally. It was like the thing that she found when she was 18 that she saw like, oh my God.
Yeah.
There's nice people out here and they want to take me in and they want to teach me all these things. And so she really grasped onto it because it felt like something safe.
Totally.
And then she ended up meeting my dad through there. He grew up in the religion.
Okay. And are they still both active in the religion?
I'm so proud to say that they're not.
Wow.
So proud to say. I think there's still an inkling of them that like, that's so much of what they know.
They're core.
Yeah, but no, they don't go anymore. I think that the space away from it during COVID really gave them a different type of perspective. And then me being open, being like, no, it was a goddamn cult. Like, it was a cult. Because for so long when I would talk about it, my mom would be like, you can't say that. Because she was still friends with so many people. Like, you can't say that. You can't be throwing that out there like that. And there was a couple posts I made and she's like, take those down.
Wow.
And I was like, no. Because that is my truth. Like that is what it is. When you are in a space that says you have to perform and be a certain way to be loved and accepted. And if you do anything outside of that, then you are going to be shunned. I'm sorry, but that's a cult.
100%.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, again, and taking you away from normal society and again, those beliefs and kind of shutting them out. Like, it is crazy how slippery of a slope religion can be when it comes to that, because it's like, it's important to have a belief system. It's important to, believe in a higher power. All of these things are really beautiful things to have. But at what point does it become unhealthy and unsafe, to your point? Wow. So, I mean, what a crazy upbringing. Obviously a lot, like you said, you were constantly looking for safety and, questioning beliefs and understanding what you need to understand. And, how do you decipher, and like seeing your brother go through all of that. That was a lot on you. Yeah. So how did you step away from that religion, or when did you step away?
I continued to ask questions. I always go back to this question because I think it was the one moment that finally my brain was like, this is all fucking bullshit. Yeah. I asked and I was like, okay, so I'm reading the Bible. I've read the whole Bible. Okay, I understand everything. I know what we're talking about here, but where were dinosaurs?
Where were they in the Bible? Were they with Adam and Eve?
When did that all play out? How did that happen? I'm like, because I'm sorry, you cannot just make up fossils. Like, no. I've seen them at La Brea tar pits. I know that this is real. So where were they in this whole equation? Oh my God. And my dad couldn't answer that question. So he told me to go ask somebody else in the congregation. And so I asked quite a few people, and they were just kind of like brushed me off, couldn't say anything. I'm like, nope, this is all shit.
So you had this moment where you were asking your congregation about dinosaurs
Yeah.
and their existence and being real. And nobody
could say anything. They were almost like it was like a gaslighting situation of just trying to like brush me off. And it's like, oh, here's Shelby again with another wild question, basically.
About dinosaurs that
like, come on.
clearly exist.
So that was just like that big eye opener for me. But still, even after that, because I was so young, I had to continue to perform. There was moments when my parents could feel me pulling away. And my mom would say, I need you to understand and continue loving this, because I can't imagine going into the new world without you. Like, Shelby, if you don't believe in this, like, you won't be there with me. Because the belief is, there's going to come a day where the world ends, and then only those who have chosen Jehovah get to go into the new world, the new promised land, into paradise. Okay. And so there was that little bit of holding me on and stringing me on, because I don't want to disappoint my mom. And then especially, with my brother having all of his drug addiction issues, she'd be like, I already lost him. I can't lose you too. And it was just that manipulation tactic to just keep you in. But then seeing like, okay, that's not coming from the space of my mom. That's coming because of these beliefs that are being shoved down the throats, and really believing that that's the only way of life. Like, you either stay in this and you fully believe so that you can live forever, or you're going to go burn in a fiery blaze of hell.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. A lot. And especially when you're so like in both worlds. I'm experiencing all of this over here because thankfully, most parents keep their kids away from having friends outside of the congregation. Yeah. Thankfully, my parents allowed me to have friends. But because of that, my eyes were able to really get a sense of the world outside of this tiny little bubble that I grew up in.
Yeah, I kind of still can't get over that fact that, like, you were, again, a part of something so, buttoned up and, believe one thing, and then again, you were exposed to the real world. That is insane. So at what point in your life did you fully walk away?
So when I was a teenager, when I finally started driving, and then I'm like, I can drive. I'm going to go to all these parties. Parents didn't know, obviously. Right? I was at Jessica's house, or I was at Nicole's house, and their moms were cool. So we could go out and we could party, and the moms would cover it up. And, oh, yeah, they're here sleeping. So I went and I lived life. I fully lived life. I was on random boats. I was in warehouse parties. I was shit-faced drunk. I was drinking Four Locos. Did you know that a Four Loko is supposed to be drank by 4 people?
Oh.
I just found that out.
What? I don't think that's how anybody drank a Four Loko.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I'm old enough to remember when there was like real Four Loko and then like modified PC Four Loko. Yep. So I have also been in those. I had no idea 4 people.
No. Okay. I guess that's why it was called Four Locos. You're supposed to drink it with your 4 Locos. Didn't know that. But that being able to have that experience and just wild out again gave me an experience of life that said, okay, there's so much more to life out here outside of this box where I'm showing up in a space 3 times a week with my perfect, proper, everything is good, and my life is so perfect. Yeah. You're right, it's hell at home. Right. And I was tired of living the double life, especially when I would go to the high school parties. And then I'd go to the Kingdom Hall teenage parties where, for whatever reason, there would be these older elders that were there to chaperone, right? And make sure that nothing bad was happening. What were they doing? They were actually preying on us young ones. I remember there was this one that I went to. I'm sitting on the couch. And I was drinking like a Smirnoff Ice. You're not supposed to, but there was somebody there that snuck and got us alcohol.
I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right.
You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to. But there was one person that was like, hey, I'll get you guys alcohol. Yeah. So I'm sitting there drinking a Smirnoff Ice, and this older guy comes over and he's like wrapped around, oh, I'm an elder in such and such congregation. And like, where do you go? And then he starts like pulling out all of my trauma wounds, trying to get me to talk and open up about my experience. And so here I am, this young teenager, and now I'm talking to this older person who I'm supposed to really trust.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see, hold on, like, why is he asking me all these questions about my family and my brother and my feelings and what's going on? And then just like getting closer. And a friend saw, and he came and pulled me out of the situation. But I went home that time and I was like, no, this is wrong. Because everyone in this says that they're living a certain way and that they would never harm people. And there are people out here who are supposed to be the ones that we trust that are living complete double lives and are completely taking advantage of people not knowing or recognizing or understanding life. And so I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so from 16 to 18, I really started to pull myself away because I had more freedom. I was working a full-time job. I was going to school. I had my own car. I was driving. So I was out living life. And I was just like, no, at 18, I was like, I can't do this anymore. But between that time, I even went ahead and I got baptized. Why? Because I needed to please everybody. Oh, I need to still make people think that like, I still believe, I'm still in it. And once I was finally like, no, this is absolutely ridiculous, I walked away and I never looked back.
Wow. That's crazy. I mean, this could be topics for many other episodes, but yeah, like just again, it's so good to grow up in these communities, and community is what fuels us, and it's important for our parents. And, you know, I was raised in a religious family too, not a cult religion, but just a normal religion, right? You went to church every Sunday. And again, you're like taught to idolize these people. And then it's really difficult to become an adult. And again, you started to see the signs, but a lot of people don't, right? Until later in life. And it's like, it's just so, it's so sad and disheartening the way that, you know, again, kids are just so easily manipulated, or people in general, right? Like even your mom, you know, wanting something different, finding something different. And again, it's so great that she found something, but then what it turned into. And it's just, it's crazy. And so I think that just like speaks so much of you, that you were able to see those signs, start connecting the dots. Did your family ever become aware of like the abuse that happened? Or was that kind of like sweep under the rug, we'll never acknowledge it?
I would say it was more of that, more of, well, we can't control the situation sort of thing. So let's just not let it be a conversation. Let's not let it be a thing, and just kind of bypass that and continue trying to live a happy life.
Right. So mainly swept under the rug. Yeah. I mean, and it makes sense. And did people, so you talked about going, you know, living your life, starting to go out. I mean, it's amazing that you had friends and friends' parents that would cover for you. They were obviously aware of your religion and your, okay, so they were like, we're pulling her out of this, we're getting her. I mean, how amazing is that you did have those people on your side, and those parents that were like, we're going to just like subtly let this happen, but like definitely going to let it happen because she needs us.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so thankful for those friends that, you know, became lifelong friends and I'm still friends with today.
Yeah.
But their parents that saw like, hey, this is just a young girl trying to be a young girl.
And then without trying to like overcorrect you per se, but just giving you those life experiences where they're like, maybe
you
will
need to get out
on.
And have fun.
Yeah, and like something's gonna catch on surely when she's drinking Four Locos and realizes,
punching car windows, like that's it.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, okay, Shelby had a little bit of a wild side.
Definitely.
She started to live life, and at 18 you decided to walk away from this religion. I assume your family to a degree. Like, what happened at that moment? Like, you were out?
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a then kind of like dissolve of the family, which was the hardest part, because since my mom had came into the religion, she ended up bringing my grandma into the religion after my grandma and my grandpa had split apart. And so then my grandma raised my mom's two younger girls kind of in the religion as well. And so as I'm growing up and I'm going through all of this, there's also a lot of pushback from my grandma and my aunts on the way that I'm living life and kind of how my parents have loosened the chains to allow me to. And looking back, I can understand why they loosened those chains and why I got the childhood and experience that I did compared to my brothers, who was much more strict and they didn't get to have friends outside. But my parents were so checked out and done after having to deal with what they did with my brother. And that's still to this day not being a situation that is like remedied or better. And so there was a part of them that was just trying to survive.
Yeah.
And so Shelby was here and amongst all that, just trying to find herself and survive and not knowing who to talk to or how to talk to. And so there was a lot of situations with my family where it was, look what you did. How could you let her do that? Because of you letting her go and have these friends outside of this. Now she's not doing it either. And so there was many, 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 many years that I did not have a relationship with my aunts. I still don't have a relationship with one of my aunts at all. My other aunt is now like my best friend. My grandma, I can talk to her and see her. But we used to be a family that because we were so ingrained in the same beliefs that we were together all the time.
Of course.
We were together all the time.
And then
I would spend every summer at my grandparents' house. Like, I lived there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that was it. So it was really hard walking away. And then that ultimately led to me ending up in a relationship and a marriage because I was seeking love and acceptance and a place to just be me. And I wanted that family, that I ended up marrying somebody that I really didn't know. I knew within the 30 days of getting married, I made a massive, massive mistake.
Wow.
But I was still, there was a part of my brain that was still ingrained in the, well, we don't get divorced. When we get married, like, we figure it out. Yeah. And so even though there was abuse emotionally, physically, mentally, I continued to tell myself, we don't get divorced. We just have to figure it out. Therapy. Okay, he said he'll change. Something's going to get different. And it didn't for 5 years. But I was still noticing how stuck I was in that ingrainment of the beliefs of bringing it now into this relationship that had no connection to the religion. But I didn't know how to break free and stand up for myself because it was wrong.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Again, like, no one's taught how to deal or even recognize abusive patterns. And then those are any religion, any person, I feel like is fed the idea of like, yeah, you don't get divorced, you don't leave it, you figure it out. And I think so many women, unfortunately, of course, end up in situations like that where they have that gut feeling, they know something's wrong, but what do you do with that? Especially when you've made that commitment.
Yeah. And then, there was multiple times where I had to reach out to my parents to basically come and save me. Like, in those first 30 days, he went absolutely crazy, ripped up the entire house, was throwing glass mirrors at me, like, ended up leaving the house, coming back, and just having a whole bloody arm. Then the next day, my mom thankfully coming out to be with me for the night. But the next day, us getting pulled out of my house by a SWAT team. There was SWAT on the roof. There was circling the house, guns pulled on us because there was a stream of blood, because he actually ended up breaking into an empty house a few doors down. That's how he slit his arm open. And so there's a trail of blood leading back to the house. So they had thought that, there was a murder, that something had happened. Oh, so here I am now in this space. I just married this person. The situation happened. What do I do? Yeah. And my parents still, because they're so ingrained with it, they're just like, it was just an accident. Okay, it's going to be okay. Like, he'll get the help that he needs. So there was a part of them as well that was still feeding that part of my brain.
Of course.
And then there was another situation. They had to drive all the way out to Lake Havasu as he got blacked out drunk, and he threw me on the floor and was like choking me. And I had a friend with me that time, and she's like banging on the door trying to get in because she could hear me screaming and like, get off of me, get off. And she's like just screaming for help. And his friends, of course, are drunk. Oh no, like, they're just having a good time in there. And my friend was like, no,
I think she's having a good time in there.
That's not a fun scream. Yeah. Like, something's wrong. Get me into this door. So I came in, and at that point I had gotten out from under him, and I was in the shower hiding. And she's like, oh my God, we got to go. So we just like packed up a bag and we left. And my parents drove all the way out to Lake Havasu to pick us up. But then, and, you know, here comes another situation where he was to the point of being so manipulative and abusive that he burnt himself with a curling iron because he was afraid that I was going to press charges this time. And then he sent that picture to every single person that we know.
Oh my God.
Look how crazy she is. She burnt me. Like,
wow.
I wish I had.
Yeah, you're like,
I wish I had.
Let me put my name on that.
That would have been a real great idea.
Oh my God.
And so then having to come out there, but then again, the conversation was, oh, it's okay. Like, he just needs to get into therapy. He'll work it out.
Yeah.
And it was just like so mind fucked of just like, what do I do? How do I get out of this situation?
Right.
My own parents are telling me that I have to stay and work on this.
And it's like, you've just been on this constant path to safety and have not gotten a single place to land from every single person that you have let into your life and trusted. I am so sorry for what you have gone through in that sense too, because I mean, that is a very heavy topic, and I appreciate you, you know, having a good spirit about it and trying to make it light where you can, because of course that's like a defense, you know, mechanism too, but it's like, that is just, so many women find themselves in those situations, and it's horrible and it's crazy to get out. And how did you ultimately now get out of that?
Yeah. And you know, thank you for saying that, because it is hard.
Crazy.
People that haven't experienced it, you can look at somebody and say, and pass judgment of how could you stick around that long? How could you stay in it? But your mind is so stuck. Right. You're completely in fight or flight, but your body, your nervous system is shut down. You have no idea how you're going to get through or what life is going to then even look like after that. Yeah. There's a part of you that is afraid, if I do this, what then is going to happen to me? And so at that time, I was in the midst of building my third business. I was with a direct sales company. I had a team of 20 under me. I was a top seller. I was traveling around, speaking on the stages, helping people understand how to sell authentically, because we did in-home presentations. And so there was a lot of relationship and connection. So I'm like on one half of the spectrum here while in this relationship where I'm living my best life, because I've fully embodied like my boss. I am her. When I step out of the house and I am in business mode, like I am on, I am building, I am leading, I am making money, I am making it happen for myself. Come home, oh my God. Like I worked nonstop in that because it became a part of my escape from the home life.
Absolutely.
And so because of that, because that was the business that really took off, I did a lot of personal development, and that ultimately is what saved me, because I was building a brand, I was building a business, I was leading a team, and I was taking in so much wisdom. I was reading so much. I was just, you know, my coaches at that time, I was like, oh, give me all the information. How do we do this? Like, how do we create our dream life? How does this happen? And just taking all that in. And that's really what then ended up giving me the courage to leave and walk away. I had been asking for signs, like, okay, just give me one more sign that nothing else is going to change and that I need to leave this. Yeah. And there just came a night and an argument erupted, and I just stood in my power and I was like, I no longer want to fight for this. And we're getting divorced. And I went upstairs and I locked myself in the room. And I just let myself feel that, be like, no, this is really happening. Tomorrow I'm waking up and I'm leaving. And obviously the next day he wants to try to, let's talk about it. Nope, I'm gone.
Done talking.
I packed a couple suitcases. I put all 5 of my fur babies in my car. And on the way home, I called my parents and I said, I have to come home. I'm getting a divorce. I don't know what my life is going to look like from here. And so I just broke away. And he tried to contact me. He tried to see me. And I was like, nope. I hired a lawyer. They did everything for me. I said, I don't want to have a single conversation with him. I don't want to look at him. I want nothing. Yeah. Nothing. And so he tried to continue to manipulate the situation. What did he do? He went and he then shared private videos of me. He sent links to all of my clients. in that business, the team, and all of my friends. And so I was getting calls and texts like, Shelby, what is this? Why are we getting this? And he sent it from like an anonymous number. Like, there's only one way that this makes sense, that you guys are all of a sudden getting a risque video of me.
Right. You're like, I certainly wasn't for you. So sorry. Not trying to get clients that way.
Yeah. Like, I'm not just exiting that situation and coming into here. And so now here I am again in this place where I'm trying to choose myself. And now my entire existence is being put on the line. And instead of reacting, because now I was at a point of doing that inner work and I was really just coming into my own power, I'm like, I'm not going to allow any of this to affect me. He wants me to react.
Yeah.
He wants to try and make this my new reputation and what people see me as. He's not going to win. He's not going to win. And so I didn't give it an ounce of breath.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. I don't even think I knew that side of the story, but I want to kind of sit in here for a second because you said so many important things. One, you were literally building businesses and seeing that success, all that external validation while your home was literally crumbling.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is so incredibly powerful and real because, again, so much of this world is on social media and on Instagram and who people think they know.
Mm-hmm.
But we are all going through stuff when we log out of that boss life and log into our home life. And again, I feel like you're at this place where you're in this external world and you're like, things are great. I am great. And then you come home to what's supposed to be your safety in your home world and it's the opposite. I'm sure so many people, unfortunately, are hearing this right now and are resonating with it. And so maybe someone doesn't have a business yet, or maybe they do have a business. Whoever is listening to this right now and somehow this message is sitting with them, where would you tell them to start with personal development? Because I think that's such a word that's like tossed around, and personal development and self-growth and, you know, all of these things which are amazing. And if you're lucky enough to go on the journey of diving into it, wonderful.
Yeah.
But like, how does someone get started? If someone's sitting here listening, like, is
Yeah,
it a book?
where do
You
I
know,
begin?
what changed it for you? Like, what really does that mean to you?
Yeah. The books were helpful, right? The books gave me a mindset and a path to follow. The conversations that I had with successful people made it real for me. Oh, if they could do it, I can do it. But what it really was that got me to that place of internal safety that I then created for myself was the inner work. It was going in and really reflecting on, what is the life that I actually want to be living? When I wake up every single day, how do I actually want to feel? When people come into contact with me, how do I want them to feel about me? What do I want them to be able to take away from me? Like, who do I just want to be as a person outside of all of life's circumstances? And that really helped me to realize that there was no part of what I was living that was actually in alignment with who I wanted to be, the person that I wanted to be, and how I wanted to be able to show up for people. Because there was still this essence of living a double life. And when you're living a double life, you cannot, just like we were talking about before we started, even with businesses, when you're running multiple businesses, it's hard to give all of yourself to one specific thing. When you're living a double life and you're putting out this show on social media, this highlight reel of, oh, everything's so great, everything's so successful, but then you're living this hell in your real world, you can't fully be your best self because you're having to, in an essence, hide the reality because you have to show up as one way to the world. And then you're not your best self in your home life because you can actually be the person that you want to be, because that won't be accepted on the other side. And so it's just, I would say, go inward. Like, that's really where it begins, really allowing yourself to get clear on what it is that you want out of life. Who cares about the life that you're living right now? Who's in it? What's happening? Like, you do have to become selfish. And people think that selfish is such a wrong thing, but it's like the greatest gift that you can give to yourself.
Right. Absolutely. So, I mean, when you say going inward, to me, I'm hearing like journaling, right? And just like simply starting to ask these questions.
The questions.
I think we all think, again, this like people like you are just enlightened and you just got there and whatever. And it's like, it's literally as simple as sitting down, light a candle, whatever sets the mood for you, and just starting to ask.
Yeah.
And write it down, or, whatever people maybe visualize, whatever their method is. But it's literally that simple.
Yeah. Yeah. I think as humans, we overcomplicate everything. Single thing. And so we believe that we can't have what we want because it's going to be too hard to get there. We can't become the person because we have to check this box over here. And really, ultimately, the goal in life is to just become the internal version of who you know and desire to be. And so if we just ask those questions of who really is that, if I think about none of what is going on in my life right now, if I am in a situation where things are difficult, there's hardship, there's abuse, whatever it might be, who do I see myself really being in the future? Like futurescape. Without all of this stuff, who could you be? What would you want to be doing? Do you want to be running a multi-6-figure, 7-figure business? Do you want to just live comfortably and have a team that supports you? Do you want a 9-to-5 but doing something that you like? Like, what really is it?
Right.
And just get clear on that first and foremost, because that piece alone will give you just an ounce of confidence that you need to make a next decision that's actually going to help you get on the right path.
It's literally awareness. Like, to be able to think about, I want to be this person, this person, this person. It's like, oh, I want to look great in a bikini. Well, then that's the moment you realize, well, I'm not doing anything to look good in a bikini. In fact, I'm actually eating McDonald's every day. You know what I mean? Like, it really comes down to, like, ask the questions, start to get the awareness. It's okay if what you want and who you are different, but at least it gives you that starting point. It gives you that fuel. I think everyone hears the term, like, manifest, right? You're a big manifester. And I think everyone hears that. You're like, I manifested this and manifested that. And they just think you just, like,
you just walk in like,
you just sit
I'm going to just breathe on this and it's going to become mine.
Manifest, right? Like, they think it's just like, I can sit back, I can chill, but it's so much more than that. It's those little things of turning inward and planting the seeds that then help create the intentional action. Yeah. We cannot, I'm sorry to say, we cannot just sit here and maybe you can. I don't know. You're the expert here. But
if we could all just sit on the toilet and just pee out gold, that would be incredible. But there is an aspect of the work, and manifesting anything is really getting in the vibration and feeling of that thing being real. That's why people manifest things. When they say they want a successful business, why does it become real for them? Because they get into the space, the energy, the feeling. What does that successful business look like? Who am I as the leader of that successful business? And that's why it manifests, because you get everything moving in alignment towards that thing. Whereas if you have those conflicting feelings and those conflicting thoughts, let's just say as this version of me who's in this horrible marriage, but then building a successful business, that business could have even been more, I'm certain of it.
Sure.
If I wasn't also being like, oh, but I'm going to constantly get pulled back to this thing. Oh, this is going to happen. And so you just have to really start weeding out the pieces and parts of yourself, your life, your circle of influence that is not helping you get to the desired place that you want to be.
Yeah. And that's hard because, again, you might have to shed family members. You had to shed a husband that you made a commitment to. Like, this is not easy stuff, and so I don't want to, like, downplay it. I mean, you have an incredible story that we haven't even finished yet, which is crazy. But it's like, these are all part of your journey and everything, but it's just incredible that, you know, you continue to show up in the face of adversity. You continue to show up and do the hard things. You just do it anyways. Like, you just do it anyways. You do it scared. You do it alone. You just do it if you know in your soul that it is the right thing.
Yeah, we have to. We only have one life to live. And so why are we going to give ourselves even a moment to doubt that what it is that we actually want, that desire in the heart, isn't meant for us, so that it can't happen?
Right.
Why are we allowing any outside influence, ideas, situations, circumstances, hardships to influence what it is that we really, really want? Like, there's always going to be fear. The mind is always going to send you thoughts to keep you safe. The body is always going to react. But if you in your heart of hearts get so clear on what it is that you want, you can push past all those things. You realize that the fear is either something that you can make you run away, or you can face it and turn it into your greatest accomplishment.
So that's a great segue into leaving a marriage. I'm sure that was one of the hardest things you've ever done. And there, I mean, talk about the fear, the unknown, the can I truly support myself? You know, I think I can, and I have been showing I can, but now what does this look like? Because it's real.
Yeah. It was terrifying.
Yeah, let's pick back up there. My gosh.
It was terrifying because I was living such a double life in this place. Everyone saw the outside success.
Yeah.
They saw the house I bought. They saw the trips I was taking. They saw the travel. They saw the team. They saw the money. But they didn't see that other part. And so when I walked away, and I actually ended up leaving him that business, I said, I want nothing to do with any part of you. Like, you can take that, because he was in the military. So when the business took off, he retired from the military. So then the business was funding the entire life.
Wow.
And so I was like, you know what? Like, you go, you take that, you do what you want with it. I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to start brand new, because I want nothing that has any ounce of connection to him. So left in the business, sold the house, was living with my parents. I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? Like,
hey, Mom, Dad.
Yeah, like
me again.
In this small room with 5 animals. Like, this is crazy. Okay, we just got to pick back up and start again. And so I was scrolling Instagram, and all of a sudden the first person I saw was Amanda Bucci, and she was a coach, and she's talking about the coaching world. And then I'm like, hold on, what is this coaching thing? Hold on, what is this? So then I start going down the rabbit hole of coaching, and I'm like, no freaking way. Are there people out here that actually come and help you grow your business and teach you how to do things so that you don't have to go through all of the trouble and struggle and trying to figure it on your own?
Right.
Like, hold on, I think I could do this. I've had success. I know how to build a brand. I know how to build a business. I think I could come and support people like this. So that hit my brain first and foremost of something that I could do. But first I had to go through the healing. I had to really release all of what I had just experienced. And so I started doing energy work. I started learning about energy. And this, again, was another topic in the religion I grew up in that was like you couldn't, meditation, yoga, those things were looked at as connection to the devil. Yeah. So here I am back in my parents' home, and I'm in my room, and I'm sitting on my bed, and I'm meditating, and now I'm buying crystals.
There's like smoke coming out of your room because you're saging. They're like, the devil is here.
And there were so many parts of that they're like, whew, like maybe she's really lost it. But really, I'm just coming back to me and connecting to who I really was, understanding and reopening myself to my intuition. Like, oh my gosh, all of those gut punches that I was feeling, that was my intuition trying to steer me in the right direction, not just like a weird feeling in my tummy. It's like, oh my God, I have butterflies. No, bitch. Like,
that was the run signal, actually.
It was telling you to go. So it was crazy. It was just a wild experience to come and start doing all of that work and really leaning into more of connection to me. And there was pieces and parts of tapping into that because I didn't even mention in high school, I had all of a sudden my entire body started shutting down. I was in pain constantly. I was having blackout spells. I could barely walk without falling over. Oh, wow. For an entire year and a half, I was in and out of doctors and just trying to figure out what was going on. Obviously, all my labs, all the scans, every single doctor was like, we can't find anything. They literally were like, it might be in your head. I think you need to go on antidepressants and then take pain medication to help with this pain that you feel in your body. And again, at that young age, was like, no, hold on, you're not telling me what's really going on. I don't believe that anything's wrong with me. So during that marriage and that time, I actually went through a whole holistic healing process to heal my body. So now coming back to this place of now going through this next depth of healing, of connecting to the energies, of realizing, oh my gosh, what I had experienced at that time was trauma. My entire body finally connected to everything that I had grew up experiencing. And there was this tiny little bit of calm state in high school where I'm starting to, I gotta be myself. I'm going to start doing what I want to do. And nervous system was like, nope, break. You're done.
Wow.
Like, we can't go any further.
We can't let that animal come out.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I had understood, but as I'm going through all of this and understanding energy, now I'm connecting. Oh my goodness. That was my nervous system trying to now keep me safe from another situation. Oh, this all makes sense. It makes sense why when something now comes up, your body keeps the score. My body is reacting. My body's responding. So I just really locked into the world of woo-woo. And I was just like, I'm in it. We're locked in. We're doing this thing. And I launched my coaching business in December of 2017. And then life got really good. It got really good.
Wins for Shelby. Like, we are all probably, everyone here is like, let's go, the redemption arc.
Right? Here we are.
Yes.
We're in it. So I launched my coaching. I had no idea what I was doing. I was literally charging people $3,500 to work with me privately, one-to-one. And I was just like full in it. Yeah. I'm working from the moment that my eyes open until I fall asleep. And I'm like, I am just going to make this thing everything that I want it to be. During this time, I reconnected with somebody I went to high school with. I had the biggest crush on him in high school. And he could not give me a single moment of his time. Like, he was that cool jock guy. And I'm like, ugh. But we reconnected, and then things happened. We fell in love in November of 2018. We ended up getting married, and this is like the height. Now we're a year in of my coaching business, and now all of a sudden, like, the momentum is really building.
Oh my God, you've got the business that you want. Yes. It is all yours.
So good.
100%. Mm-hmm. You have found the man. You secured the job. Congratulations.
Got it. Like, it was so good. I'm like, oh my God, this is what it was about. This is why I went through everything that I went through, so I could find myself, so I could step into my authentic self, so I could build an actual business and a brand that supported people in a way that would actually help them move forward. And now, like, I know what it feels like to actually be loved. Yeah. Like, oh my God.
Life is good.
It was so good.
And can I interject for a quick second? Because sometimes when you talk, I'm like, this girl must be 47, 8, 9, 50, 60. How old is she? Like, wise, just wisdom owl. You're a vampire. You never age. But, like, I don't think people understand how young you were when all this is happening. So by this point, you've left the religion. You've built multiple businesses. You went through a divorce. How old are you in this moment? You're building another successful business.
27.
Like,
27.
What?
Yeah.
That's why I had to interject. Because I'm like, I think anyone listening to this needs to understand, like, how many lives you've lived and how much you've gone through at such a young age. And again, what a freaking badass to gone through everything you've already gone and you're only 27. Like, that's 2 years ago in my current time. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm still a baby. You're a
I
baby.
was a baby.
You were a baby, Shelby. Like, just freaking taking this world by storm.
I just needed to be coddled. I just wanted somebody to just
Baby
wrap me up in my
hug.
Yes.
And then went and built 20 businesses. She just wanted a hug.
I just wanted a hug.
So you're 27 years old. Again, you've built your dream business. You've secured the dream man. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And things were just, it was great. It was great. I was getting offers to be on podcasts. I was having articles written about me. I had wrote this like tiny little mini book that this author had reached out and he was like, hey, I want to help you just write a short little mini book. I'm like, oh my God, like this is insane. This is
my life.
That this is happening in just a year's time. But that really helped me to reflect on how quickly we could change our life.
Quick.
How we can go from being in the depths of despair, feeling like there's no way that I'm ever going to figure this out. And maybe like this is just the existence and experience of my life, to like, holy crap, I'm building something really amazing. And I'm watching my work now transform other people's work. And it was incredible. So then we get married in February of the next year, find out I'm pregnant. It's like, oh my God. Here we are. Like, how wild is this? And loving it, really thinking about what's business going to look like. How do I want to start building this out, knowing that a baby's coming into play? I had created my signature program, Total Ascension Business Builder. And so that was going great. I was supporting clients in there. And then in July of 2019, my husband unexpectedly passes away, and I'm 6 months pregnant.
I just got the chills. Besties, 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 PSA, do not forget before you end this episode. This is part 1 of Shelby's story. We'll be coming out next week with part 2. So don't forget to tune back in. Give us all the comments on Instagram. Come hang out with us. Tell us what you thought of Shelby's story part 1 and what you might think will happen in part 2. See you next week on Tuesday, same place, same time. I'm your girl, Christina Fusco. Thanks for tuning in on part 1 of this Real Her podcast with Shelby Sinclair. Hey besties, I want to close out this show by saying thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you loved this episode as much as I did. If you did, please do me a favor. Hit like, subscribe, and share the episode with a friend. That way we can keep growing this movement and reach even more Real Her besties. And for your daily dose of laughs, mindset, and behind the scenes chaos, come hang out with me on Instagram at Christina_Fusco. That's Christina with a K _Fusco. All right, my ladies, until next time, keep it real, keep it fun, and keep becoming her. XOXO, your biggest hype woman.